Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. This is a nutrition tip from me, Nancy Teeter. This is a nutrition tip from me, Nancy Teeter, registered dietitian nutritionist. Glad you have joined me for this video, and I hope you'll listen to the end. I also sincerely hope that you will let other people know about this broadcast so that they can get accurate nutrition information. Last week, I shared with you, dear viewers, about how nutrition science is expanded beyond the idea of single nutrients and their individual role in health and disease. And recent advances in nutrition science have shown that it's foods and diet patterns rather than nutrient-focused matrix that explain the effects of diet on non-communicable diseases. If you watched last week's episode, and I hope that if you didn't see it, that you'll go back and watch it, you may recall that food is more than just a sum of its nutritional parts. Today, scientists are focusing on the food matrix. They're looking at how the nutrient and non-nutrient components of foods and their molecular makeup interact. When we look at the food matrix, we start by examining the physical makeup, meaning what is the solid to liquid ratio. Next, we examine the macronutrient makeup, protein, carbohydrate, and fat. After that, we not only look at vitamins and minerals, but also smaller micronutrients like phenolic compounds and flavonoids. Now, these are often referred to as antioxidants. Scientists are studying how the preparation and cooking methods impact the nutritional value of foods. Today, I'm going to give you just a few examples. Before I do, I need to explain how calories are determined. So they take a portion of the food and they grind it up and they ignite it. The device is called a bomb calorimeter, and they measure the heat given off of this portion of food. So the calorie is the amount of heat produced that will raise the temperature of 1 kilogram water 1 degree Celsius. And we usually refer to that as a kilocalorie, but in common nomenclature, we just say the calorie content of food. So I promised you some examples. So let's start with almonds. These nuts are just 4.4% water, and the rest of the nut is solid. The nutrient value of almonds do change with cooking and with grinding. Whole unroasted almonds actually provide 25% fewer calories than what is determined by the bomb calorimeter, or what you would find on the nutrition label. 1 ounce of nuts could contain 164 calories, but we eat them whole and unroasted, we only absorb 123 of those 164 calories. Now, roasting increases the absorption, and it increases the absorption to 81% of the labeled calories. But what happens if we roast and then chop them? And that means that the absorption increases to 83%. And if we grind those nuts into what we would refer to as almond butter, now all 174 calories listed on the label are absorbed. So you can see that cooking and preparation makes a difference. But what's the conclusion? Does that mean you should only eat raw and unroasted almonds? Well, no. First of all, eating should be joyful. So if you think almonds are more joyful to eat when they're roasted, then roast them. And it's pretty hard to make an almond butter sandwich out of just roasted almonds. So feel free to also use them when they are ground into a nut butter. I just want you to understand that caloric science is not exact, and that what you see on the labels can be just pretty much an estimate. And when it comes to weight control, it's not all about just calculated calories in and calories out. But I want to assure you, those 100-calorie snack packages that many people love, They might go by the name, Oreo Crisp or Cheetos or something. I can pretty much guarantee your body is going to make use of every one of those 100 calories. All right, let's move on and talk about a vegetable that many of us love, and that's carrots. When it comes to water, they're pretty much the direct opposite of almonds. They're comprised of 88% water, and then the remainder is solids. Now, carrots are best known for their vitamin A content, which is actually the carotenoids beta and alpha carotene, which is converted to vitamin A in the liver. But they are also rich in two other antioxidants, and then those are lutein, which are good for the eyes, and lycopene, which has a number of health benefits in the body. So scientists examined how the preparation of carrots impacts the absorption, not this time of calories, but of the carotenoids. Because if we can't absorb the carotenoids, we can't convert them to vitamin A in the liver. So they took chunks of fresh carrots. They were cut into bite-sized pieces and gave them to the participants. And they found that only 3% of the measured carotenoids in the carrots was actually absorbed. And they repeated this study with cooked bite-sized chunks, pulped carrots, so they were just ground up, or they were pulped and then they were served with oil. They were pulped and then they were cooked, and then they were pulped and they were cooked and served with canola oil. So as the preparation method changed, so did the absorption rate. So just cooking those carrots doubled the recovery of the carotenoids. Pulping those carrots, so like if you put them into a smoothie, you would absorb 21%. But if you put them in a smoothie and then you added some source of healthy fat, you'd increase the absorption to 28 to 34%. If you pulped them up, but then you cooked them, it would be about 27%. So not much difference than pulped with oil. And if you pulped them and then added a source of healthy fat, you'd increase the absorption to anywhere between 38 and 45%. So you don't need to remember all these numbers. What you just need to understand is that pulverizing increases the absorption, and adding oil more than quadruples the absorption of these very important carotenoids. All right, let's move on and talk about the dairy matrix. Dairy milk is more complex than either of the two plant examples I gave you. And in addition to well-known nutrients in milk, which include protein and calcium and a multitude of B vitamins, milk also contains many bioactive compounds. Bioactives are constituents of foods besides vitamins, minerals, and macronutrients that are responsible for changes in human health. Emerging research is currently studying how the bioactives in dairy impact human health. And I anticipate studies will explain what we've seen in population studies where chronic disease. For example, we've seen that whole milk does not negatively affect the markers of cardiovascular disease or type 2 diabetes. In fact, whole milk yogurt is associated with a reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. Well, actually, whether it's whole milk, low fat, or non-fat yogurt. Scientists hypothesize that both the probiotics and the modification of the bioactives during fermentation may be the reason for this positive association. So more to come on that, because the scientists are very excited about doing this research on dairy. Well, I've presented a lot more scientific information in this episode than I typically do, but here's what I want to leave you with. Focus on eating a plant-centered diet comprised of whole, minimally processed foods. Eat a wide variety of foods prepared different ways. Always include a source of healthy fat when you eat vegetables, and always think food first and supplements second. You need to talk to a registered dietitian about supplements before taking anything more than a high-quality multivitamin mineral tablet. So today I gave you some examples of whole foods, and I hope you're leaving this broadcast convinced that you should seek to get your nutrients from a variety of whole foods instead of isolated parts of foods or from supplements. As always, I leave you with this. If you have questions about nutrition, you can write a comment on any one of my videos, and I will try to answer those questions either in the comments or in an upcoming video that I do on YouTube. Have a great day. Be healthy, be happy, and eat well.